get behind.
The owner of a restaurant at the Banks downtown says she will pay the money owed to both the state of Ohio and the city. Good evening. To critics, it may be a case of, I told you so.
But to supporters of Mahogany's restaurant, several $1,000s in unpaid city and state obligations are a hurdle which will be cleared. Local 12 News reporter Jeff Hirsh joins us now live from the Banks with more on this mixture of food and finances. Jeff.
Well, good evening. You know, cold 11-degree nights or whatever it's going to be tonight in February when the ground is covered with snow. It's kind of been that way for like the past 2 months. Not exactly prime time for a restaurant that's, you know, just a few feet from the front of a baseball park. But Liz Rogers says she will pay back the money that she owes, and she's determined that Mahogany's, which was brought down here to make the Banks more diverse, she's determined that it will be a success.
I do pay my bills.
Liz Rogers, owners of Mahogany's at the Banks, an upscale soul food restaurant and the only minority-owned business at the critical Cincinnati project. Rogers went on the offensive to defend her business and the city's investment in it. Rogers owes about $22,000 in workers' compensation premiums and sales taxes and has fallen behind on paying back a $300,000 loan from the city of Cincinnati.
I just call it turbulence. It's just like, you know, had a rocky takeoff. You know, I'm up in the air, I'm flying smooth, I'm celebrating my year anniversary, and then I'm just hitting some turbulence here. It's very slow on the Banks for all of us.
Mahogany's was originally in Hamilton. Rogers and her husband owed $3,400 in property taxes up there. And when Cincinnati City Council approved financial aid for business owners with unpaid taxes, it was a controversy. Then City Manager Milton Dohoney convinced enough on council that there will be enough cash flow and business generated for Mahogany's to pay back its city loan.
Very often when we're trying to spur economic development like we're doing in the Banks, that you do have to make an investment in this type of venture.
I am 100% want the Banks to be inclusive and a diverse area of our city, and hope that it continues to be. But I also want the city to only enter into good deals.
The owners of Mahogany's did pay all of their back taxes up in Hamilton. And Liz Rogers says they have a payment plan now in place to pay off everything they owe and keep this business moving forward. Do you feel like maybe you're being focused on more than maybe other businesses who might have similar problems?
I mean, you know, there are hundreds of businesses that in the city that have similar problems or worse. They file bankruptcy, you know, they close. I mean, we're not talking about how many businesses we lost this year, how many people closed their doors. I mean, I don't feel like a victim or anything because it's just part of what I signed up for.
Now, according to the Ohio Industrial Commission, about 43,000 businesses, private businesses across the state of Ohio, were delinquent in their workers' compensation payments at the last deadline. That's about 15% of the businesses in the state. By this January, about a month or so ago, that was down to about 5%. And those remaining businesses, those types of businesses that are still delinquent, like Mahogany's, are turned over to the Attorney General's office for litigation. Live at the Banks, Jeff Hirsh, Local 12 News.
All right, Jeff, thank you. In addition to the $300,000 loan that Mahogany's received, it also received nearly $700,000 in a grant to design and build the restaurant. Mahogany's, by the way, employs nearly 60 people.